Hey, folks, welcome back to another episode of the CGC Podcast. I'm your host, CGC, and with me always.
Cal L313.
All right. Uh, Pretty slow week, I would say. Not as slow as the about 2 weeks ago, but things did get interesting in the last few days. We got a few topics we're going to run through. Cal, you want to get us kicked off?
Yeah. When you guys get a chance, just check out the Representation with Intention conference at GDC 2024. Uh, really great information there. Um, Embracer, just let Saber go.
Now, do we know who
So
bought them? Because I heard
I
there was $500 million for them and a couple other companies. Do we know who bought them or no?
I do not know. I do not
Okay,
know.
I
I
haven't
believe
heard
it was an
anything either.
angel investor, some type of angel investment group.
Ah, okay. So
Uh,
another group that really doesn't care about gaming that much. Okay, possibly. Anyway,
yeah, man, but the fact that they're out,
yeah. I mean,
that's we kind of talked about how
they
Embracer
were
wanted to
being
shut its
mismanaged.
skin.
So yeah.
Were they though?
I think I think that Embracer had an embarrassment of riches. Like, there's no reason to own 700 IP. What I mean, what are you really talking about as far as, like, man? Who I don't. There most companies can't manage 7 IPs. 700 is like crazy. Like, what were you really like?
Oh,
There's no wonder a lot of stuff didn't work out or closed down under that Embracer. That was too much.
they were. They had the same data Microsoft had. They understood what was going on with the streaming services and that kind of thing. They just couldn't hold on, and
Yeah, I
they
mean, and
spent too much. They
yeah,
spent too much.
like I said, I think it was really a matter of you. Once you get those 700 IP, how are you going to manage them? I think me and you had conversations offline before about how
Just
some of
just
their
remix
games
and
were,
remasters.
yeah,
That's all you
it
can
should
do.
have been remixed, remastered. Some of the games were a little bit too ambitious, and then
Yep.
honestly, if you want to talk about remasters, they kind of flubbed up that the Aspire, which is, I believe, is still under Embracer, kind of flubbed up that Battlefront
Yep.
remaster.
Quality
That thing,
remakes and remasters.
yeah, like, and apparently there was something with them using a modder of the original game's assets or code. So
Oh, okay.
there's like scandal on it, but they didn't pay the guy. You know what I'm saying? Or girl, I don't know who it was, but what their gender is, but they didn't pay that person, and then like the online servers don't work for it, and it's just like, I
Is
don't.
this the same
Hmm,
team that did Grand Theft Auto?
no, this is the same team that's gonna make the remake of of Knights of the Old Republic. And
Okay.
I told people is like I told people, like, man, I have, like, it's already in, like, I guess you could say, the equivalent of development hell, right? But I was like, man, I just don't believe in the idea of somebody who is not BioWare remaking a BioWare game. Like, BioWare is not even BioWare anymore, right? But at the very least, if the actual BioWare themselves were still making it, that'd be one thing. These guys can't even get a 20-year-old game running on their servers.
I'm
Like,
cool with anyone redoing Bioware as long as they understand Bioware's language. I think Larian speaks Bioware's language better than Bioware now.
oh yeah, for sure.
So,
But Larian's full of, I believe, a bunch of ex BioWare guys.
oh yeah, but I mean, you got the who's the guys who did Icewind Dale?
Obsidian's also like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Obsidian's got a
So
bunch of. Well, the Obsidian was like, they were BlackRock Studios, I
yeah,
believe, at first, and
Rock,
they
yeah,
turned into Obsidian, and they always were like
yeah.
Robin to BioWare's Batman when it came to making games like that back in the day. So
Anyone like them, I would totally trust to do a
yeah,
Bioware
but
game.
Aspire can't even get uh they, they can't even get this, like, I don't know, man. Maybe that's why it just didn't work out. But hopefully that
What's
game
their
finds life with a better developer.
What's their
But
track record? What's their track record? What else has
mostly
Aspire
most
done?
well a good portion of the old Star Wars games from, like, that Xbox, I'm bad with the numbers of those generations, but the Xbox, PS2, GameCube generation, they've remade pod racer episode 1.
How's the
uh
play on that one?
eh, it's okay. You know, I mean, what's the actual meaning of nostalgia? Return to bad feelings or something like that. Like the actual definition of it. Like it's if nostalgia hasn't really hit you, you ain't. It's not gonna be hitting on nothing. Then I think they remade Republic Commando for the PS2 and the Switch, and that was okay. You know, but a lot of this, a lot of really what's happening is nostalgia is not saving some of this stuff. But you know, in the case of something like Battlefront collection, like dude, you could at least have the thing running, uh, at least running. I'm like, I don't even put an adjective on it, right?
Might be Crunch because they just did the Tomb Raider, and that was pretty big, right?
Was
So
that
then
Aspire though?
yeah, I'm on their website. Yeah, so maybe you're seeing them because they're the go tos to crank out these really fast and nasty. Then again, they made Myth Force, and that's so buggy and so brilliant. So
Yeah, it's a good game, but it's buggy. And
uh,
then like there's definitely probably an excuse or a reason. I don't believe in just dogging out or
oh yeah,
dishing on developers because I know how hard that stuff is. But like for that Tomb Raider, they got like all of the Star Wars games that they've made that kind of haven't been that great because even like they redid Jedi Academy, and that thing was full of cheaters and like soon after it came out.
oh
Which,
yeah,
mind you, even big AAA games had that problem, but it's like there's definitely I'm sure more attention and care was given to that Tomb Raider thing because I think you can switch back and forth between modern and old
mm-hmm.
fashioned graphics. I think more attention and care was definitely given to that game than was to this one.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't know. It's just they're very hit or miss, and they're
yeah.
definitely not. What's the studio that does the compilations of really old games? I forget their names, but they're definitely not that studio. That studio was like probably the ones that you go to for remakes and remasters and compilations. But I mean, they try, and I'm pretty sure it'll be better. But a lot of people were upset, and I get it. But also, you know, nostalgia being nostalgia, you kind of gotta like, you know, you weren't probably going to play it too much longer than whatever. Plus, the new Battlefront is a much better looking game,
Yeah,
and it does for the most part a lot of the same stuff. So I don't
yeah.
know. I still bought it anyway. Whatever.
Oh,
Just
that should say this.
just to clear out the hypocrisy, I still bought it any damn way. But yeah, it's it's just one of those things where it was only $30, really less than that. So, but yeah, I cut it on and played it. Like it didn't have y-axis inversion. I'm like, oh god, like really? It didn't have y-axis inversion, but thankfully modern consoles you can kind of just set that on the controller and then pick that profile. Online didn't work. Yeah, it's got its issues, and I don't know, man. Like I
Yeah,
just at least wanted to try it, but I'm waiting for them to at least kind of get it fixed. And then I'm expecting to get maybe one day's worth of decent games in before the cheaters start running it again.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah. Got to give up to the cheaters.
for sure. They ruin everything.
All right, let's do a little bit of thoughts and reactions. So crazy news. Amazon Luna is going to allow you to have access to a different storefront. You'll be able to play your good old games catalog on Luna, and if you're using Galaxy, the good old games launcher, you'll get cloud saves that sync with Luna.
This
So this,
is
yeah, that's different, right?
that's a great move. So Amazon,
It's a CVN. It's the largest CVN still.
yeah. So here's my thing with Amazon, right? Amazon, for all intents and purposes, And when it comes to gaming, they've had I think two solid hits. They did a port of the I want to say it's a Korean action RPG like Diablo. I forget the name of it. And then they have New World, which had a really nice spark, but kind of like died after, all of the grinders kind of hit the end game on it. Other than that, most of what Amazon has done is brought out projects that either died very quick deaths or didn't get off the ground at all, meaning they didn't launch. There was some difficulty with the development. They had the lumberjack engine that they were, I guess, letting developers use to make games on, and they've shut that down. And I always kind of wondered, like, okay, Amazon's Amazon; they're not going to run out of money. Hell, I buy stuff from them all the time, but in gaming, they just haven't really found their spot yet, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
I was subscribed to Luna, and I was looking at the library, and one day I looked at the library, I was like, dude, this is useless. Like, I've gotten most of these games for free, either on Xbox or PlayStation, or I've gotten them on Switch for like $2 or $3, or I've had them already. Like the library of games they have access to on the premium Luna was never really that great. Now, mind you, I haven't been subscribed to it for about a year or two, so maybe it's gotten better. But last I remember, it wasn't very, very good. This is a huge boon for them. They needed something to validate Luna. Like, maybe this is a reason I can use the controller, because I got the Luna controller. That's how invested I was. Like, I'm the idiot that had Stadia account and a Luna account. I tried this stuff because I like tech, and I like the idea of maybe one day when consoles launch, we don't have to get a box. And I know that the hardcore physical collectors are going to hate that, but I don't lie to myself about where this stuff's going, right? There's no point. Again, Microsoft told you wouldn't be trading disc, and when's the last time you brought a Blu-ray from somebody? Exactly.
So let me ask you a couple questions about Luna, because I'm not familiar with it.
Right.
It has its own storefront, I would suppose, where you can buy new titles.
Well, you stream them if you have a premium account, but I believe with your Prime you have like base Luna, which gives you access to about 10, maybe 15 games, maybe less than that.
So so if a brand new game comes out, it's not like GeForce Now or whatever where you can buy it.
No, they have like a curated list, i.e. a list of games from companies that's willing to let them put some of their older stuff in the service.
Okay, so this was never approached as a storefront. It was always approached as just
it's a service. Yeah, it was like
okay, so
less than what Stadia was, like where Stadia kind of went out and got a couple of exclusives, and was working on stuff, and had a couple of big games. Luna kind of like had maybe one or two new games, but it was stuff they never had anything that was exclusive, really. Like even Amazon themselves, they didn't put New World on Luna, which I thought was a huge mistake. And the other game, what is the name of that game? Let me look it up real quick. It's a Korean action RPG.
I did not like the Google approach, because you would buy a game and then you just wouldn't have access to it non-stream.
So, Lost Ark was the name of the game. I believe Amazon published that, and it's actually free on Steam now. And they haven't, to my knowledge, they haven't put that on Luna either. And it's just like, the problem with both of those, right, is Microsoft did it way better than both of them.
Yeah,
Microsoft was like, pretty much any games that are on the service for you to download on your Xbox or your PC. A good portion of those, if not most of them, are available on streaming. And apparently Microsoft was still rumored to be working toward making it so that any game you own, you can just stream over xCloud, which is going to be huge. And it's regardless of whether it's been in Game Pass or not. But
now Luna allowing a whole
storefront.
Yeah. Now, do you think this is going to be the only storefront Amazon allows in?
Hell no. Amazon's got money. Like Microsoft again.
Epic being allowed, the Epic storefront being allowed to operate through Luna?
It depends on how much. Jesus, I can't believe I'm gonna say this. It depends on how much money Tim Sweeney gets for his car collection. If he can get enough money to enhance his car collection, he'll definitely take the check from Amazon to do that. Because it's like at the end of the day, like again, this is something that Microsoft told us. Is like we're not worried about Sony or Nintendo. It's
I love it.
Amazon and Apple and Google are the problems,
Yeah,
and no one believed them.
I love the concept of this being a check to Microsoft buying the industry and having it all available on Game Pass. Like I love that Amazon's like, nope, we're gonna let other storefronts use our
Well, they have the cloud
service.
services to do it.
Yeah.
It's really
they're 34, they're 33 and 34% of the entire cloud industry. Like
like
Microsoft 1% away.
so. Here's the
Steelers
thing:
right behind them.
Microsoft's is not necessarily a matter of so much blocking Microsoft as it was one of the people who has cloud services has to do something because Google's stupid, right? Google literally again, as a person who was subscribed to Google Stadia, Google was like, yeah, you have to pay a subscription fee to access games you bought from our store. Instead of saying, instead of saying like, oh, you get free games for being subscribed, and that's the only advantage for being subscribed, or you get priority on 4K servers for streaming if you're subscribed. Something that like GeForce does was like, well, you can get a free account, but it's only an hour play, and you're lower in the queue. Nope. Google was like, you got to buy the games, you got to buy a controller, or you could use any controller, but we prefer you buy a controller. And if you bought games, but you're not subscribed, doesn't matter. You can't play games. It's stupid. Nobody in their right mind, except for me, was going to deal with that and a couple other people. So it was just like, I mean, well, I got to be honest about it. And it like, Stadia this is the bad part. So Luna and Stadia both are really good. Like Luna's latency is solid. Now I'm talking about like on a performance because somebody who spent hours playing both Luna and Stadia. Stadia was so good. I kid you not. I played an entire like maybe 2.5 hours of Destiny 2 on Stadia, on the Edge browser, on my Series X, and forgot that I wasn't playing it locally. That's how smooth it was.
Yeah, that happened to me with I did it, but I was streaming from my computer to another computer, but I did it with Back for Blood one day, and I was playing. I was like, I looked and noticed I was locked at 60 frames. I'm like, why am I locked at 60 frames? And that was the only reason why I figured out. Oh, wait a second.
Yeah,
I forgot
it's
have it installed in the system.
And then the thing that the Luna controller and anybody in the audience can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I remember this correctly. The Luna controller actually connected to the Luna servers to cut down on input latency, which is what was so cool about that. Because I think the Stadium one did something to that extent too, but it's like to cut down on input latency. You literally have to connect your Luna controller to Amazon servers, and it's really smart, because it actually works well that way. And like I said, these two companies have the money to give Microsoft a good run. Now, mind you, Google's stupid, and I don't care about saying it because they got a whole website dedicated to stuff they just prematurely quit on. Google's too stupid to get, to actually compete, but Amazon's smart enough to actually get something done. So, I mean, I got an extensive GOG account of games, and I honestly would not be surprised if there's a lot of. I'm looked on the GOG site. There's a lot of PlayStation games on there. I would not be surprised if when Sony does launch its PlayStation storefront for PC, because that's coming. As is day and date. When that happens, I wouldn't be surprised if they align themselves with GOG and Amazon.
I mean,
it wouldn't be a bad idea. You wouldn't have to give
Amazon
Microsoft the money.
The Amazon, you wouldn't have to create your own service.
Exactly.
Service. It looks like Sony's making their own streaming service, so they already have it. You know what I mean? It's there. The tech is there.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, the portable was, or whatever the PlayStation.
The Portal,
yeah, it was actually pretty
trash. Go ahead. Yep.
Man, use case.
No, I don't. I don't get it.
You got to have Wi-Fi 7. You got Wi-Fi 7.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
It's
probably
just
dope.
stupid.
No, serious, man.
I
Wi-Fi
know.
7.
I know people who got it, and I don't. Like I say, you talk to somebody who bought a PSVR 2. I have no problem clearly buying a Stadia and a Luna subscriber. I have no problem clearly buying things that are essentially useless, and I didn't even fall for that one. I'm sorry. I don't get it.
Yeah,
Because and as an aside, like the VR2, Sony's apparently cutting back on production of them because surprise, surprise, they didn't sell them because they didn't make it compatible with PC off rip, which is now something they're working on. Hopefully, it's not too late because I'm just gonna have this nice headset here that's collecting dust. But
you think they have to raise the price because they were selling those at a loss, right?
I mean, they cost more than a PS5. I wouldn't think so. Maybe they are. Yeah, probably so. Yeah. I would.
I mean, those screens and
The lenses in those things probably cost more than So you're probably right. More than likely they're lost, but it's just like whose fault was that? You
that's just
keep
the
trying to
console
make
market.
everything proprietary, but I mean, I refuse. So here's my thing, man. Right? I refuse to believe that to some extent you don't have the same kind of nerds working at Sony that work at Microsoft telling you, look, this is something you need to do. Now, are you going to listen to them? That's a whole nother story because it's like, for all intents and purposes, Sony never should be in the lull. They like when they've worked on let's say a proper click, they look like almost the perfect video game company next to Nintendo. And for them to have these flubs where it's just like, dude, you didn't realize that this Helldivers game was gonna be big on PC. You didn't realize when all people on PC, like, think about how many indie games have come out in the last few years that are extraction shooters and go in here and raid the base shooters, and they probably didn't even see this game doing what it's doing. I think it said 10 million sales now, and most of them are on PC, on Steam. They didn't see that. How do you not see that when the market has been telling you, yeah, this is what we want?
Well, I
And
mean, because that same market, they have way more data, so they're looking at not just the success, they're looking at the failures, and there were a lot of failures in the exact same genre. There's way more.
because there's a ton of them, right? But you're talking about, but you're still talking about Sony polish and Sony quality because they funded
But
and
it's
backed
not.
this game. So
Yeah, but it's not Sony quality and Sony polish. Like this is more of an indie grimy feel. Like
I
the
mean,
game has
for what
a
it is,
Sony.
though, for what it
Yeah,
is,
Sony
it's definitely a
polish.
Sony game. It's a Sony
It
game.
feels like a Western B Sony company.
I mean, Sony doesn't have any Japanese companies, so they
But
are Western.
but it doesn't feel like you know it doesn't
Like
feel
their
like a,
biggest games have been from like Western developed companies.
yeah, it doesn't feel
They
like
don't
a
have any Japanese companies anymore, so it feels like it feels on cue with something they would have made maybe a generation two. It actually reminds me a lot of Starhawk on PS3.
yeah, or siphon filters kind of mentality maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like
Yeah.
with mind you, man, I'm not trying to be argumentative, but like the PSVR thing really missed me because it's like, dude, you could have really like. I hope that thing doesn't die because of just like that blind, ignorance for
Well,
you gotta spend $1,100 to play it. Like, dude, that thing is really like, I have nothing as far as my experiences with PSVR 2, nothing but great things to say about it. I love that thing, but it's just like barely anybody has it.
yeah.
And like you weren't even like people couldn't even get their hand. The scalpers had more PS5s than his customers, actual customers. And you ask people $1,100 to access this thing, and then you not putting the games on PC and not making the thing work with PC. You doomed it. And that sucks.
It was more than that, man. It's the tethering. People don't want to be tethered. Period. They don't
Oh
want to
yeah.
be tethered
Yeah, I
PlayStation got
mean, but I mean,
together with Xbox.
the
You
thing
know,
is $600 with a wire. How much did you want to pay for it? How much you want to pay for it? Like it's like the what is the meta is what four
yeah, that's what
fifty
I'm saying. The meta is the
and
meta is
nowhere near as powerful.
nowhere near as powerful, but you're not tethered. You're
Yes,
not
just
tethered.
oh, I got one. Trust
It
me,
is
I
just
believe.
a console.
Did you get a chance to set up that 2 yet?
Not yet. Just put it on and see how it worked.
Yeah, we know each other in real life, guys. We actually see each other in real life. So, but yeah, what what's the next topic, man? Because the VR thing, like I think
Well,
VR
no,
is the future, and it's just like it bothers me. It
oh man,
does
once hard light comes, it'll be better.
for sure.
Uh,
Jesus.
okay. So that's just wild. I just okay. So let's see here. Uh, well, you just going on about the PlayStation.
My
Sony
bad, man.
reportedly halts PlayStation VR 2 productions as it has failed to sell.
Uh,
That was
it
from
shouldn't have been this way, man.
Sifted Games.
It shouldn't have been this way. They made one or two major first party studios. Matter of fact, one of the nicest PSVR 1 games. They closed that studio. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Next topic.
Good news. If you point your browser to Humble Bundle, you can get the non you can get the full version of the game, gigantic, that's coming back for like $14.
What?
Pre-order, yeah, it's like
Whoa! You said $14? Oh, I was about to go there. We're filming the show. Yeah, that's something me and Calla used to play on Xbox back in the day. That game is amazing. Highly recommend it. I'm pretty sure Kal does as well, but I'll let him speak on it himself.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, it is.
Very solid, Mopa. God, so good.
Yeah, just classic. Speaking of classic, did you see the new video for Fate of Fury?
That looks really good. That looks like another sweet looking fighting game that I'm never gonna be good at.
Yes.
I'm never gonna be good. Like I'm like I'm seeing like I saw 2 trailers. Thanks to Maximilian dude, because I've watched it through his channel, his reaction to it, and one trailer was just like a quick overview, and it has some quick shots of like words popping out for like I guess subsystem stuff. But then there was a longer one that was like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and man, they showed like I think 6 or 7 of the characters from the game. It looks amazing. Like they're going for like a Street Fighter 4 kind of look, but with sharper detail. I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. It looks like a just Street Fighter 5 almost to me with better shadows.
Yeah.
More of artistic. They're using the same engine as King of Fighters, but that heavy line artwork just makes it look so much better.
Way better. Like King of Fighters almost looks 2 gens
like
behind.
Dials. Yeah, they like Dials a little bit still.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's see. There were some good ones I wanted to. So we talked about Aspire. I didn't have much else. What else did we want to talk about?
I mean, well, if I may, we could bring up the PS5 and the specs. I think we talked about a little bit last time.
Talked about the Pro, right?
Yeah, the PS5 Pro.
Pros and cons.
I think the pros and cons of the PS5 Pro model. Once again, me and Kal-El, we bought 1X's and PS. Did you get a PS4 Pro?
Oh, yeah.
Or was it just me? Hey, I had the Spider-Man
and I put a 2 terabyte SSD in that boy.
Oh yeah, smart man. Yeah. So we're more than likely going to get this thing.
Yeah.
But I think, well, the Pro is, no pun intended, or pun intended, however you want to read it. Some PS5 games are starting to show their performance issues. And this is going to shore that up. I think that for a lot of people who still don't have a PS5. This, you might want to wait for this thing. I think the cons, but that's really all I can say about it, because the cons are it's not going to launch with any games. Because they won't have if it's supposed to come out holiday this year,
Yeah,
which means that it won't get a game from Sony themselves on it that's probably optimized for it until March or April of 2025. It more than likely is probably going to cost at least $600, which is, I mean,
that's fair.
yeah, it's fair, but I mean, yeah, it's $700 is going to be a lot for most people. And then on top of that, it's just I'm pretty sure Sony has something nasty for 2025 between the Wolverine and the X-Men game that leaked. Ghost of Tsushima 2 supposedly is going to be shown. Probably Last of Us 3 or whatever else Naughty Dog's working on is more than likely to be really good. But I think the problem they're going to run into is by the time they do put out some kind of game that's going to run on this thing, you're going to be coinciding with the launch of the Switch 2, which is supposed to be March or April of 2025. Yeah, you kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place. You don't have any games for this thing when it comes out, specifically taking advantage of it anyway. Maybe they'll have a bunch of patches, which will be cool.
Yeah,
the hope being that most people are going to be willing to either replay the game and kind of get a quote unquote new experience on this hardware. Then again, I don't like their chances with the price. And then I think again the other con is you're gonna be like the Switch 2 is kind of like a wild card, right? Well, I've talked before about Nintendo's kind of like pattern when it comes to success and failures. Well, and you kind of talked me off the ledge on this possibly being a failure because it's a Nintendo handheld, which we're expecting it will be. Like, I think it would be crazy for Nintendo all of a sudden to say, yeah, we're making another box.
Yeah.
That sits under the TV and does nothing. Yeah. So, I don't know, man. Like, you just closed all of these studios. You just canceled all of these games. And one could look at that and say, oh, it was just a bad omen. I think for the most part, some of it was bad, but I think most of it was trimming the fat and them pulling back and saying, you know what, we don't have to make a billion live service games. Let's just stick with what we're good at.
Oh, they're going to make a billion. It's more of the other thing. It's more of the AI stuff. It's already a market disruptor in the market right now, right? So
right.
It's and you're already seeing the products that are affecting everything from spam calls to you're the Hollywood model is going to happen. You're going to have a 4 or 5 guys who are really great with the engine. You'll hire in artists on contract, right? You just hire in a bunch of artists. They'll come in and
because when it comes to art, AI has a bad habit of stealing. But go ahead.
Yeah, and they can't copyright. They can't copyright any of it,
right.
So they can't copyright the art in their game. They have to be able to. So instead of having artists around, you just you'll hire art teams to come in to help you build your games for. So you'll see it'll be like Hollywood, like how when you look at Hollywood, there's specific people that they bring in to do cinematography. It's not the director and the writers aren't doing everything. You know what I mean? There's all these other agencies, and they're all getting. That's where everybody's getting unionized right now, anyway. You know what I mean? That's why QA just Activision, they all got unionized. They understood that
they could be replaced.
Their role is easily affected, as is media. IGN.
I saw a I saw a video. It's funny you mentioned that. I saw a video today where a whole neighborhood was essentially I'm talking about a neighborhood where actual people live was essentially abandoned because of a big tech company moving in and building centers for servers and stuff to run AI. So
Yeah.
it's definitely having an effect
On everything, carnage,
on
pace.
everything. It's affecting everything. So I said I like I said I'm going to buy this PS5 Pro, obviously,
Yeah,
but
it'll be good. I'm just
no doubt it'll be good. I just don't know if this hurts or helps them
it
because
helps them. It
the
helps them
PS4
because
Pro in the Xbox One X did not sell well.
well, here's the thing about the PS5 and the Series X. The Series X and the PS5 are anemic, and you want the you want the performance mode frames with the quality mode features, and you're only going to get that at the Pro and above.
Yeah, this is true.
And so it sucks having to choose between the two. It sucks saying, "Hey, man, I got to go pure rasterization because my anemic console, my console that was that I
Promised all
fight,
of that stuff. Yeah,
yeah, and I fight tooth and nail to get it. It that console didn't. It
I
wasn't powerful enough out the gate. Like as soon as I got it to the car, it was already.
and I blame the pandemic for that because a lot of the stuff that we're just now getting, even this year,
Oh,
we're supposed to have played already.
no, it
Uh,
ain't a pandemic, man.
oh, I'm talking about the
It's the
development time of some of these games. They just didn't come out.
Yeah, it's more AMD. It's AMD's just had lightning. AMD and Nvidia have been on a lightning path of innovation because of how much stuff they're doing with AI. Like we don't know if the PS5 Pro will be able to support frame generation at the driver level like your 780M processors in the
Well,
APUs.
apparently they're saying the processor is like similar to the Series X's, so it's still gonna be bottlenecked.
It
Um,
still could, but if you're able to generate frames at the driver level, like I play with it. Like
right.
if you can run FSR 3 on games, which is way superior to FSR 1 and 2. One is a joke, right? And which is what most of these games are using a variation of when they're not using the built-in engine scaler. So if you're ever playing anything Unreal, you always use the built-in Unreal. That one is beautiful. But Unreal 5 itself just falls apart at under 1080p though. Like it's just the way that it's just not designed to.
Not
It's
pretty at
crazy.
all.
Nope, not at all. And then like Unreal 4 though, gorgeous. Like I just got every collectible in Tekken 7.
Yeah, yeah, Tekken. I did see you playing it.
Yeah.
Tekken 7, like Unreal Engine 4. Like the one thing I will say
Oh,
about
it's so
Unreal
good.
Engines, generally speaking, is if it's been sitting out there for a while, people end up mastering it, and like the quality is barely comparable to anything else. I will say the only other negative that I see, and mind you, I did point out two pretty big negatives, at least in my eyes, is that um from what I can tell, they're doing this really close to what's supposed to be their next console.
Yeah,
It seems
there'll
like
be
this generation is
upgrades.
going to end in like 2 years. But I mean,
Yeah.
maybe they're making them like cell phones, right? Where every 2 years they just pop out one, every 3 years. I don't know. I don't
They
know if
might have
video
to.
game companies can afford to do that, but I guess that's what
Yeah.
they might be doing.
They might have to keep up with the PC market because the PC market
Man, the handheld
is
PC
matching
market.
them. Yeah. So those things are taking their
I
power.
honestly think AMD screwed both them and Sony over with
Everybody.
handing Asus and Valve these processors for these mini PCs, these handheld
Uh,
PCs. They're hurting the boxes, man. Like
Everything. They
I'm
made
not gonna lie
everybody
to you.
else jump into their arena. They got Intel out here with the claw trying to jump
Yeah,
into
like
their
I'm not
arena.
gonna. I'm not gonna lie to you. If it comes down between the ROG Ally 2 and the PS5 Pro, I might have to wait
Oh,
on that 5 Pro.
oh yeah.
Because the Raw Ally
Two
too,
is
like
tough.
the Raw Ally, like and you can account for this. I hated that thing when I
Yep, I
first got it,
love it
but
now.
it got so much better. And then the Raw 2 is just like,
You have to throw a two
what else
terabyte
can
disc.
they exactly? What else can they squeeze out of it? If they can squeeze something more out of the Raw 2, like my God, man, that thing's got a chance of being beyond incredible. So
Yeah. And now that the battery tech is here, just wait till you get something that actually has
they
that's
can run
laser
for more
time.
than 3 hours.
Oh, what if we can run for way more than 3 hours and it has discrete graphics. So you're talking something like a 3050, 4050 series or higher. Like That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you have laptops that can do it now, but imagine something in that form factor that can do it. And that's right around the corner.
Yeah. We're not far
That is
from
right. Nah, yeah, because like they're already. Have you seen any of the information? The speculation about the 5090s.
it. Oh, we're in the 50s now. I thought they just introduced the 40s.
Yeah, 4090 has been the
Kal-El's the
king
PC guy,
forever.
by the way.
Yeah, yeah, 4090 has been the king forever. They just released the supers for 4080 and 4070 Ti and Ti
Yeah, okay,
70.
so it was the 40 supers I just saw. Yep.
Yeah, the supers just came, but the 5090 is around the corner. It won't be here for probably another year or two. But they're saying it's going to be the single biggest generational leap again. So, I don't know. Wow. Because what you can do on a 4090 is crazy.
Yeah, I've seen guys running some very demanding games at like
Yeah. Full path ray tracing.
120 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Just with the ray tracing features, like I can lock everything 120. It's just with that 30.
you got a 40? I thought you were on the
I,
30.
yeah, 3080 Ti. I got 3080 Ti, and that thing does not. It can do some ray tracing. It's just when I throw the stuff in on for Alan Wake, man, I had to put it down to 60 frames.
See, and that right there is the exact reason why I'm for the cloud gaming stuff, man. Like I will get an NVIDIA GeForce subscription the moment that this infrastructure gets itself together to the point where I can have a PC, but I absolutely don't need one. And people can feel however they want to feel about me saying that. I don't care. I am all for whatever lets me play the the latest titles in the best performance possible. I'm going to do that. And also as a person who does spend money, obviously you've heard the foolish things I've done. I'm not cheap, but I'm also not stupid, which is why you'll never hear me talk down about Game Pass or any of these services where these companies just give you the ability to play all of these games.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with any of them.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with any of them, man. Like if you need to conserve your wallet, conserve your wallet. You know, you don't like. I hear people all the time like denigrating Game Pass. Oh, this welfare gaming is like, dude, you sound stupid.
Then they listen to their, uh, streaming music list.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not buying CDs. It's the same concept.
Not buying CDs. You're probably not buying movies.
Yeah.
You're probably stealing movies. You're probably stealing the Netflix password for somebody or something. You know, who knows?
Yeah.
But you make fun of people for not buying $70 games. It's like you sound stupid.
Yeah.
Buy all those $14 movies if you got that much money.
Truth of the matter is, no game is worth its fee at
No.
launch.
A lot of the money is the amount of money you're paying is the different entities who's got their hands in its cut. Yeah. That's all.
You wait 6 months for anything, it'll drop. It's just like the movies. Just wait
Yep.
6 months. Change your cycle, play your backlog.
Yep.
If you have to, if you got it like that, then buy everything brand new. Pre-order. Yeah. Do what you gotta do.
But you should never be making fun of people who
count other people's pockets.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Counting other people's pockets is crazy.
For your hobby, though.
Well, a hobby. Really for anything, but definitely for a hobby. Like, what are we doing?
No matter how many games you got, if you don't got the time to play them.
Dude, don't we know it? Don't we know
it? You better be Metal Jesus. Actually have worked it into being your job. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even then, I seriously doubt that guy's touched half his backlog.
It's impossible. Him or Reggie. Great channel, by the way, too. But like, I doubt they get to play most of that stuff, man.
Reggie be going in.
Yeah, Reggie goes crazy on the like the obscure PS4 and PS3 games. He finds stuff like that. Those guys are serious. They go hunting for stuff.
Wasn't that Mr. Who's the Boss like that?
I think so.
Is he the one that The Rock gave some free stuff to a while back? I can't remember.
Now you lost me on that one. That one I don't know.
Yeah,
don't get me lying.
Watching that stuff. All right, man. So yeah, some pretty good stuff. Minecraft has its own bundle store marketplace that's coming up. So $4 a month, you
Four
get the
bucks a
mine.
month.
Yeah, you can get a
Oh,
bunch of free
that's
Minecraft
they
stuff.
about they about to they about to
Oh
destroy the kids.
yeah,
Wow.
and
I
that's
love you, virtual Legos.
it's cheap enough for no one to really care, but it's
Yep.
like Richard Pryor Superman 3 kind of money. A little bit here, a little bit
Right.
there. Oh man. All right, let's see here. I don't think I had anything else. Like I said, I am for the PS5 Pro. The Pro models are always better, and
Yeah.
normally you can, I know a couple people that would love to get my PS4. So I'm in PS5 normal. So
Yeah, like I said, we'll get it, and more than likely we'll review it and let you guys know what we think of it. Obviously, we're going to we'll be there for it. Again, the only way I'll end up being a detractor is if that Rogue Ally 2 is looking way more tempting, and even then it'll just be put on the back burner so much, not so much abandoned as far as the idea of purchasing it. So we'll see. I don't know like what the business implications of that thing is for Sony, but then again, I don't work there, so I don't really care that much. I don't, I just like I don't want Sony to die, but I don't get a check from them either. So I mean,
yeah,
if they want to
I'm a,
blow it, then let them blow it. I don't. It's like,
I'm always for the tech step up model. Like
yeah,
we got it in everything, right? We got it in our phones, we got it in our watches. Uh, you got it when you go buy a suit. You know what I mean? Like there's always a step up option.
yeah, for sure.
And just throw it out there. Just make it. It's still a boutique thing. You can make it you know, you can make an expensive version of your console. It's okay, and you can make a cheaper version of your console.
Oh, but people hate Series S, Khalil.
I love that thing, man. That
It
thing is
was
great.
it was sarcasm. I was just being a cheeky
Oh
bastard.
yeah,
But some people is like, oh, the Series X is pointless. It's like there's
doesn't it
nothing wrong
outsell
with
the X?
yeah. So what now?
Doesn't it outsell the X?
Yes, because it's cheap
Oh yeah. There you
and
go.
it gives people access to the new games at a cheap
Yeah.
price. But apparently something was wrong with that. A lot of people denigrated the Series S as this terrible thing. I'm like, I don't know what kind of gamers I'm dealing with now. I don't know. I don't know who these people are. Like that's just, I never thought it was a bad idea to have like
Low budget gaming.
a low budget version. Like that's like saying low budget gaming PCs are trash. It's like if they let your kid play Fortnite, what's the problem?
Yep. And then here's the thing about everything that's lower budget. On a long enough timeline, the low budget becomes, better and better.
Yeah.
So like a low budget PC now, something like a APU or a 3050, you know, even something with older tech like a 6700 XT graphics card, that thing can go. Like I played on that 5700 XT forever.
Man,
I mean, that's
my laptop's got a 1080 in it, and
yeah,
like
that's
it's shrouded in Power will run just fine on that thing, 60 frames per second. So I don't know what people are. I don't get the complaints.
yeah,
Like there's nothing wrong with budget. Again, stop counting people's pockets. It doesn't
yeah,
matter. If let them, if everybody should be able to play all the games.
yeah.
Speaking of which, I believe Hi-Fi Rush launched on PS5 today. So if you guys haven't played it on PC or Xbox, it's a very solid rhythm-based beat 'em up action game. Really good game.
Yeah. Had to come out on PS5.
Had to. It kind of fits the PlayStation. You know, it fits within that. Yeah, the old school PlayStation, not new school.
No Japanese. They got to get Japanese studios again. That's
Yeah.
it.
They really need to. I will. That's one other thing, and then I think we can go ahead and do our closing thoughts. But I believe speaking of purchases, I believe the creators of Power World looking to be acquired by somebody.
Oh, because they got too much money, they said.
Yeah.
You heard what the guy said? He said we weren't designed to handle this kind of money. Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's a flex. Like,
Who do you,
oh,
who
we're
do you
making too
think
much money.
who do you think will end up purchasing them? Just as an aside for S and giggles, who you think is going to end
I
up?
wouldn't. I don't know who would invest in that
I
company.
don't think it's going to be Microsoft. A lot of people
I
say, "Oh, it'll
wouldn't
probably be
trust
Microsoft."
I wouldn't trust any company to invest in it unless it was somebody that just had big cash. It would be something like the Saudis or Tencent or something. Like it would be.
Mm.
I don't think if they're going to be a company that kind of leads the market in making like really fast product
I mean, this is what we were just talking
AI
about with the AI
games.
stuff, right? Yeah, like
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they got another game called what's the thing called? It's like a Breath of the Wild clone, and it's actually kind of like Power World where you can capture the monsters and stuff in it. It just doesn't have an extensive list of them, but it's one of those do everything you want to in this world style games, and
Yeah, yeah, but that's the way that all everything's going to be like that, right? Like
oh, for sure, for sure.
everyone that wants to create a game now is going to have the ability to create a game. So I don't know, man. I would look for something that's going to be. It's weird, right? It's so weird that everyone tried it, right? Everyone tried to create like a spore or something that Big
Spore
Little
didn't do
Planet.
well.
No, yeah, Sport didn't do well. Little Big Planet really didn't do well, but they had the right idea, right? Mario Maker did pretty good, but there's a thousand,
Very, very concentrated. Like, yeah, you're basically
yeah,
making Mario levels. You ain't making the first person.
yeah,
Even Nintendo's Game Garage game, I don't think that thing did too well.
yeah. Fighting game maker, the RPG makers do pretty well. It's like
RPG makers have produced.
action realistic games.
You tell people you let some people tell it classics.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that
I'm so
there
pissed how that thing tracked me in this video. I'm sorry about that, but go ahead.
I
The
think that we've
Tekken level
always
tracking.
been head that way where people are creating games themselves and tools are easier and easier. And Real really opened that up where people can, and Roblox definitely opened it up where people create their own games and that kind of stuff. And the kids are actually doing that.
Yeah.
I
Project
think
Spark was one that Microsoft
Project
tried.
Spark.
I hate that both that and Dreams by PlayStation,
Yep.
Sony. Both of
Yep.
those games are dead, and I hate that. Dreams should have been
Well, they
on
weren't ready.
PC.
They weren't ready. They weren't ready. But now with AI tools, they're ready.
Well, here's
Now
my
going
thing.
back to that with the AI that helps you do all the scripting and you can just drag and drop and you can just download maps and from the server.
Well,
Now that you have that
I
and it's
think
super easy to make.
I think
Uh,
that's definitely gonna play a factor in if those two games come back. But I think the other problem with those two
oh
games in particular
yeah,
is that I think the other problem with those two games in particular is that they were going up against a Roblox
oh yeah,
and a Fortnite, which kind of had that. They had like a mode editor, but now Fortnite's pretty much a full-on game editor now.
oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. Once
an
Fortnite
extension of
says,
Unreal Engine, yeah.
yeah, once Fortnite says, okay, so here's all your tools to make your own games, period, and then they let you sell those games at the store or whatever. Like it'll, man,
And they're definitely heading that way.
oh yeah, yeah. I
I
mean, because the
think,
Real Engine is already that way. The Real Engine's
yeah,
all like you
exactly.
download the Real Engine SDK, you can build your own games in it, like just right then and there.
Yep, and I think Fortnite is
Yeah.
probably like a few features added to their base game from allowing that. Like
Oh yeah.
I think you'll probably see that when Fortnite finally says, "Okay, here's the first person mode,
Yep.
and you can only play in
Yeah.
this on this
Free
playlist
mode.
is first person." And then it's like, okay, now you guys because that's what they. I don't think that I think that's what they don't want, right? Is somebody taking the core Fortnite code and putting in the feature that they have planned for like season 20 or whatever of this
Yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They'll trickle out the Real Engine. They already have Lumen and Nanite for the Fortnite already. They'll
right.
trickle out the features and the dummies and the maps, and the Real Engine will be synonymous with Fortnite. Like it'll be one and the same. and they've already got the platform. They've already shown that that's the hand because they brought in two different companies to build games on that platform. So first is going to be other companies coming in to build the games, right? Harmonix and the people who did
Brilliant idea, by the way.
yeah, well, because yeah, it was just a platform, and then to but
A
once they're
Lego
done,
game.
just yeah, once they're just done hiring people to make these games that sell on their platform forever, they can open it up to
The
any
small
developer to
guys.
do it. Yeah,
Yep.
and then that's a totally different conversation because now it's just like it turns video games into YouTube,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
everybody's making them and they're making episodic content.
What a statement. Video games going to turn into YouTube where anybody can just drop it. That's
Yeah,
perfect right there. That's exactly, I think, where they want to take. I think that's where all these platforms want to take it, right? It's just
I
make
don't think
video
they already
games like
started.
YouTube.
Well, they are.
So
They
as
already
easily
started.
as we're putting up this video,
Yeah,
somebody can just throw up a game.
yeah. You saw? You didn't you send me that link about the software engineer, AI
Yeah.
software engineer? Yeah,
Yep. It's coming, guys. Just
yeah. Oof. That's gonna be it's gonna be the best game, but everything's it's gonna be like there'll be these. You ever read this book Lucky Wonder Boy?
no.
It's about like a boutique game that's hidden, kind of thing. Sort of like a Bandersnatch kind of situation. It'll be like that. There'll be like this. There'll be these games where people have to go and find them. The Daniel Mullins game is sort of like that. Inscription is like that. Like it's a game within a game. But there'll probably be like a real world version of it, like a game with only so many, so many times it can be played or something. And have like a self-destructing
A
code.
game that deletes itself after like 20 hours of playthrough or whatever.
Yeah, you
That's
only get one
ridiculous.
chance to really play it. Period.
And
Full
when we
stop.
get to the point where we can just speak to a digital assistant, say, I want a first person shooter with online gameplay that
Yep.
does this, and I need it ready by Wednesday night. And it gives you this first person shooter that's remnants to say something like GoldenEye or whatever. And then after you have your get together with your friends on Wednesday night, it deletes the game where you can pay a price to keep it. Son, Jesus Christ, we are really going
Oh
into
yeah.
something. I hope we're not
I,
getting these companies' ideas, but we probably are
oh
speaking.
yeah. I hope the IP companies don't fight it. I hope they lean into it and offer their I. You want to make James Bond games? Come by the James Bond.
Pack.
Yep.
Well,
Come get this Marvel pack.
you would not let Marvel vs. Capcom go like many others. I get it. I understand.
I'm a Marvel versus DC.
Yeah, hey, that ain't a bad idea either.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Well, any closing thoughts?
Nah. I'm glad we didn't get to talk about the layoffs. They're still happening, folks.
Yeah,
But we
I'm.
have to take a break from them.
I have to. Yeah, I got to take a break. Like at this point, I'm pretty sure that it's going to probably be another 8,000. What would you say, or so?
I have no clue, but I think that it's going to be hard to measure because I really think we're going to see a bunch of small 4-man studios pop up with rotating art teams, and they're just going to take out. They're just going to make content, so much content.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot of smaller, shorter, but repeating maybe twice a year games.
You're repeating twice. What do you mean? Like 2 releases in 1 year, or just DLC?
Well, it would be DLC, but if you do it as episodic, it's the same concept.
You know, I always wondered, like outside of the um Life is Strange games, why most games don't do like episode 1, which is like the first
Mm-hmm.
4 levels of a game, and then release episode 2 later on for $15.
Yeah,
I kind of
Walking Dead did it.
I kind of feel like, well, yeah, that's kind of in the same motif
Oh
as
yeah.
Life is Strange, right? The adventure book games.
Yep.
I'm thinking that
Japanese visual novels do it.
exactly. I'm thinking that Activision is probably going to be the company that says, for $30 you can get the Call of Duty multiplayer. For another 20 you can get the story, and for 10 you can get zombies or something. You know what I'm saying? Like I just see them splitting that thing up 3 ways.
Yeah.
Because even actually Rockstar did it with you can buy Red Dead or Grand Theft Auto Online without getting Red Dead Redemption or Grand Theft Auto 5. So
Yeah, every Grand Theft Online update and every online kind of RPG update is an episodic update. So,
right.
like, but Grand Theft Autos, they even advertise them like a new episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well.
So they, yeah, just watch the guys making the money and do what they do.
Yep.
High quality games that people are addicted to. Yeah.
So my final thoughts are, as always, think for yourself, play what you love, and stop fighting over this stuff. Make us all look stupid. Seriously, you guys are making us all look stupid. And that would be it. This is supposed to be fun. Have fun. Yep. At any rate, that is going to be the episode. That's pretty shorter than usual, but again, it's kind of slow, kind of fast. Once again, check out that Humble Bundle pack for Gigantic, really cool game. And I personally am going to go look into this Luna GOG situation because that's
crazy.
Interests me very much. I have to get back into Luna.
GOG library is now cloud.
That's crazy.
And they've been giving us GOG games in Prime Gaming.
GOG is so cool. They'll email you and say, yeah, here's a coupon. You got like 2 days to use it. So, like, if you ain't on GOG got Bethesda games that Microsoft and Bethesda themselves won't republish. Like, it's
DRM free.
And yep, you don't have to be online to play them. And it's CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, they own them, right?
They own them or they're owned by them. I'm not sure. One way or the other, it's how it goes. But yeah, man, check that stuff out, and we will get back with you guys in 7, hopefully with some good news or some interesting news, and not some more bad news, because I think we've had our fill on that stuff anyway. So until next time.
All right. Peace, y'all.
Peace.